Ah, what happens when Thor, Loki, Storm, and Joker all get together?
Loki.
Or fuck. Restart.
Chat! He's fucking up already.
Restart. What happens when Thor, Hulk, Storm, and Joker all get together and hang out? Halo. What happens?
There's crime.
There's some crime. A little 101, right? A little 101 action. Yeah. Because today we're here to talk about Crime 101. We saw a early access for it yesterday at our theater, Regal, Kingston. Dead ass mall, but good theater. Um, and we had like what, two other people in that theater with us for this early access, maybe three.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I feel like there was not many other people, but yeah, for this movie that I just heard about recently, um, I think I've seen. I don't even know if I've seen the trailer actually. Maybe I've seen like part of it in the theaters or something, like when they show the ads and everything. But I don't know if I've seen the full trailer. So this was kind of one of those movies that we were essentially walking into kind of blind. Um, but I figured it is a crime movie, considering it's called Crime 101, like probably a thriller, um, probably kind of maybe some action in it, maybe some drama. And I would say that's probably the genres that are essentially tackled here, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of there is some action here, but it's more not like John Wick with fight sequences, more car chase action kind of
Yeah.
stuff, I would say.
Mm.
But yeah, so we saw this early and we wanted to get you guys an early review out for this and tell you how we thought about it. So Halo, what did you think?
It's
Of
good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I'm already a big kind of crime thriller
Mm.
fan.
So that was kind of like you were like, oh, this is kind of my genre going into this.
It's very up my alley, but I was pleasantly surprised by, just by the whole thing. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was, it was just good pacing, kept me entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was a pretty good cast.
Yeah, it's so we mentioned their superhero alternatives, but it's Chris Hemsworth,
It's actually all the superheroes.
Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, and Halle Berry. And yeah, I thought, oh, and then I think Nick Nolte is in this. I think he was like that old guy that was like like or whatever that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And then yeah, he's getting old. And then Jennifer Jason Leigh, she's in this.
Cameo.
But they're
That was like a cameo.
yeah, she's like a cameo, but
he was also like, I feel like more of a cameo because I think he only had like 3 scenes.
3 or 4, but they're pretty quick. Like he definitely was in there for like a day or two and did those. But yeah, it's mainly Mark, Chris, Halle Berry. They're kind of the 3 main characters.
Keegan's kind of a main character.
Yeah, true. I feel like he gets like the least attention probably out of those 4 though, right? Because he's kind of like, I would say, the villain essentially, even though this is kind of dealing with the main character is kind of, I don't know if you'd say a villain, but a criminal.
I was explaining to my coworker today, I was like, I feel like it's like protagonist and antagonist at the same time. More protagonist?
Yeah.
Still antagonist.
Who, Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not a spoiler, but just basically the premise is, like, he's just a person that, like, robs people. Well, robs rich people.
Yeah.
But he doesn't hurt anybody.
And, like, he does it in a specific way where, like, basically he knows these people aren't really going to get fucked over. Well, someone always kind of gets fucked over, but, like, basically the things that he steals are insured. So basically he's just like, and then he always does it where it's connected so he can basically get right on the 101 the freeway in Los Angeles, which is where most of this movie takes place. So yeah, it was interesting. I thought they really kept like an intensity kind of to it and everything too. Like the car chase sequences. I would say the score and stuff too. Like I thought the score like kept the tension and like the like really had me invested in what was going on in the movie. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was like a really good movie actually, and
I kind of went into it
like this could be
I
really ass,
found
but
out about the movie itself literally yesterday.
Yeah, I was just like, you want to go see this? I forgot I got early access tickets to it.
And I was like, yeah, why not? And then
what's weird on
2 minutes later, I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, crime thriller, Chris Hemsworth,
yeah,
Mark Ruffalo. I was like, all right, I'm here for it.
Yeah, but like it's also weird when like they have these on a Monday or something too, because like we're used to going to like the early showings on Thursday or like maybe like on a weekend or something like that, like we did with Send Help. But
it was also a Q&A, right?
Oh yeah.
The early showing with a Q&A.
Yep.
But
I think our theater just didn't give a shit though. Like they like just they just turned it off like right as the credits started. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, like they just want everyone to get the fuck out. It's a Monday. Like this was like a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. So like no ads because we saw early access.
Yeah.
But we got out at like 10:15 or something like that, and they're like, get the fuck out, everyone. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. We want to go home and sleep.
They're like, this is like usually the shit we have to do on Thursday. We didn't even know we had this like stay open an extra like fucking 2 hours probably tonight. But yeah, so I guess to get into it a little bit more, like what did you think of kind of the characters here? Like what did you think of Chris Hemsworth, who, like we said, it kind of focuses on Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry, and Chris Hemsworth the most.
Like they all have their own like side story with the whole like storyline. Like,
did you think they did a good job, like kind of intertwining everything?
Yeah, for sure.
I thought they did. Yeah,
I thought they did a good job.
And like especially like the things where like one of them's like driving, and then like you see like they're in traffic, and then the other person, and then it kind of starts cutting over to the other person. Like I really liked that. I thought like we've seen it in movies before, but I think they did
a good job of like kind of like transitioning.
Yeah, like it was really good transitions with this. I think the way it was shot, like the cinematography and the direction and everything here was also really good. I don't even know who directed this either. I don't think it's like
a well-known
director. Like someone super well-known or anything, but I'm kind of curious like what else they've done at this point, but we can look into that in a little bit. But what'd you think of Chris Hemsworth's character? Because I was gonna say like we said, it's kind of those three are the main, and then Barry Keoghan kind of too, but like I'd say Chris out of the four of them gets like the most attention probably. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
because it starts with him, and it kind of just revolves around him.
We love Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, I know you all do.
I don't know if you can see it, Chet, but my eyebrows are going up and down because.
What'd you think of his brown eyes or black eyes when he had those contacts?
It's the blue eyes that gets all the women.
So that wasn't doing it for you as much. It was the blue eyes.
Yeah. I was also telling Leon that he doesn't speak with his signature Australian Chris Hemsworth accent in this movie. He like actually uses an American accent, so it was just like kind of it threw me off, but not in a bad way. I was just like, I'm so used to him being like, I'm Asgardian. Like,
no, I thought he did a good job with it. And like it's almost like one of those things where like I've seen interviews with him, but then like how sometimes you hear someone's real voice and you're like, oh, like they sound really different. Where like I feel like I'm so used to hearing him with like that kind of Thor voice that even though I've seen interviews with him too, not a lot, but like some interviews, I was like, wait, is this like his real voice for a second? I was like, no, like he's from Australia, like there's no way. But like I thought he did a good job with the accent.
Yeah.
Like where it didn't sound bad, and it didn't really sound like him either.
Yeah.
So like that's how you can just tell like Chris is a great actor, because it's just like that's important. Like I feel like sometimes with these movies, like when they try to do an accent or something, like they just completely like half-ass it.
Yeah.
And like I thought like he went fully in on this role. And that is like one thing I will say is like I don't think the characters are like super deep or like I don't know, like it just I almost thought like they were going to have something like I think the thing that was interesting me with this is like Chris Hemsworth's character is kind of like this mystery kind of guy where like you don't know like anything about him really.
Mm.
And as the film goes on, like there's other people that he meets and other people, that he interacts with, that, it kind of they start to like say that and stuff too, where they're like, I feel like you just like have so much mystery around you, like you're this mystery man and everything that I just don't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like kind of what I was expecting a little bit was maybe like as this movie went on, we were gonna get more answers to his past and everything.
Mm.
But then again, I don't know. I It wasn't bad, wasn't like amazing either, like what they do with his character. Um, because like I said, I think maybe they should have peppered it a little bit more of like what was kind of going on with his past. And instead, I think they take this approach where it's kind of very minimal and they do reveal some things, but it's more that like actually other characters in this movie are finding out more about him
Mm.
than us, the audience, kind of even is.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people might like that. Some people might like, oh, like I can kind of, I think it's this or I think it's this, but like, I don't know. To me, it seemed like they maybe could have done a little bit better of a job with that. But then again, like maybe it's just not that kind of movie. I don't
Mm.
know. Like maybe, um, like I don't think as good as I think this is, I don't think this is gonna get like Oscar nominations or anything like
Oh
next year or anything. You know what I
no,
mean?
I don't think so. I think it'll
Um,
get pretty high ratings. I
I mean,
think.
I would be happy if it did because I like I said, I actually really did like it. But like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this is that their sort of thing.
Mm.
And I think one of the things that also hurts it a little bit, like I said, is that like the characters. I think they're well acted, and I liked the characters. I just like think like when I thought back on it a little bit more, I was kind of like they're kind of a little bit like types, like um, and that's fine sometimes. Like I said, like maybe it's just not that kind of movie, but like Mark Ruffalo's like the cop that was once like the best and now he's kind of like seen as a joke and like he's kind of like I don't know, it just seemed like that like a type to me, like his
Mm.
character. And then Chris Hemsworth, like I said, mystery man and everything, like that's a type we've seen before. But then again, like you could kind of say that about any movie, right, where it's like how hard to be and make a like completely original character nowadays or like a type or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all kind of been done before. We've had millions of movies. So I don't know. It didn't really like super bother me,
Mm.
but I think I just wanted to address that because like I would say that's like one of my slight complaints or like maybe one thing I thought they could have done like slightly better. Not that they did a bad job with it, but like maybe it could have really made this like really 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 good like in my mind or something. Um but yeah, I liked Chris. I liked Mark Ruffalo. I liked like the dynamics between the actors and stuff too. Like when you
Mm.
get scenes between like Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry and Mark Ruffalo and Chris and Mark Ruffalo and I thought they all did a great job. Um, but yeah, even like Barry Keoghan, like he's kind of just a crazy criminal guy too, which that's a type as well.
Mm.
And like I said, everyone does a great job with it here, and I think the writing is pretty good, and like the script is pretty good, and I think they focus more on the story than maybe the characters because like I think like we said like they did a really good job transitioning between the characters and I thought there was twists with the stories that like I wasn't expecting and stuff like that too. So yeah, I liked all of that, but like I would say didn't have many complaints about this, but like if there's something I maybe would say they could have done slightly better, it was possibly that of
Mm.
just like maybe they could have had the characters be a little deeper. But yeah, do you had any kind of complaints with this before we kind of get into what we thought was great and everything?
Not really.
No, not really any complaints from you.
I'm trying to think.
You said the pacing you thought was good, right? Like, didn't feel like it dragged on for you or anything?
Mm-mm.
No?
Yeah, no.
Which is pretty good for a 2 hour, 20-minute movie. I was kind of going into it like, fuck, if this is not the best, like, this is going to drag with that runtime, you know? But
I can't think of anything like that I didn't like.
no, that's
off
good.
The top of my head.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll bring some things up, actually, and I feel like we can bring these things up, too, because, like, they're not really spoilers. Like, they're just characters, and, like, we're not going to spoil where those plots end up going. One thing I thought was also maybe, like, it wasn't weak, but, like, I just thought, like, you know, we've seen this in so many movies, was Chris, like, kind of having the love interest and everything.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know.
It was kind of like...
But that's how you find out kind of more about his character and stuff, too, I feel like. Like, that's how you get more insights into his character, too. So I'm like, I don't know, that wasn't weak, but, like, maybe they could have done that slightly better, too, or something. I don't want to say,
like, they could have went without it. Like, I feel like it probably did, like, give a little, like, I don't know, yeah. Obviously, there were multiple side stories, but could have given another... It did give it a little... other, like basically saying, like, he has a soft spot, like, because like, you know, they're portraying him as this, like, you know,
and they were kind of saying, like, you know, like, maybe I think part of the plot of this also is, like, is he losing his edge?
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, you know, I think that added to that too. So I don't know, it's like I said, like, those two things, like that, and then the other thing I brought up with maybe the characters being a little deeper. It's not even like those are complaints, because I actually like the characters and everything. I just think, like, maybe they could have made those, like, a little bit stronger if they wanted to make this, like, a classic, or, like, a 9 out of 10 or something like that, or 10 out of 10 or whatever. But, like, for me, it definitely hits that point where I would rewatch this again. And I actually heard this is going to be an IMAX.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I don't know, maybe since our closest IMAX theater is closing in 2 weeks and I have that movie pass thing for it, I was like, you know what, maybe I'd go see this again in IMAX.
Big sad, guys.
Yeah, Showcase Randolph in Massachusetts closing. Now we got to go all the way to Boston to see IMAX movies. Fuck us.
Boston.
But
yeah, I agree. Also, like, I think, well, you and I had talked about it yesterday, like, with Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo plays, like, he's a cop. I don't know.
Detective?
Detective, yeah.
I think, yeah.
In the crime, like, robbery division.
Yeah, unit or whatever.
Like, with, like, Halle Berry's character. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more into it into spoilers, but basically, like, I think they try to, like, insinuate that there was something going on between those two characters too, and ultimately they didn't. But
which is also kind of like we said, like, oh, it's kind of a good thing, because, like, I feel like most of these movies would have been like, we gotta force a kiss in here or whatever. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just turning my fucking ringer off.
Bo, 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 bo.
Sure, that's not annoying for the viewers. Bo, 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 bo. But yeah. So, wait, what were we just saying? Fucking ringer. God damn it.
Damn it, Android. Just
yeah, it's Android's fault.
Mark Ruffalo and Halle Berry's character just not.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about, yeah. Basically, they kind of imply there's some romantic thing, maybe. But yeah, like, are they gonna get together maybe at some point or whatever? But
ultimately, the appetizer spoiler, they didn't.
Yeah.
And I think it was a good thing, because I think if they had, like, it probably just would have been like, okay, why?
Yeah.
It's like there already was, like, a love story in this. It's like we don't need We don't need 2 love stories.
So maybe expect some chemistry. I don't know. Maybe you won't see it. Like, maybe some people won't see it that way or whatever. Like, that they had chemistry, but, like, we kind of felt like they did.
Saw it.
we kind of felt like they did.
We both agreed on it.
Yeah. And then also, but like we liked that they didn't force it or anything either. So yeah, they walk a very careful line in this where like even some of the things we're complaining about right now, we're kind of going like, but like I liked it almost too though at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. Really liked it. I would say for other pluses in this, like I said, like the score really I want to look up who did the score too, because it was almost reminding me of like, remember like the beginning of The Dark Knight where like they're doing that bank robbery and everything. It was almost like giving me that sort of vibe, like with the score. But like, obviously that's just at the beginning of that movie, where it's almost like a little homage to like bank robbery kind of parts in The Dark Knight, and this is like a whole movie of that. So I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, and like the score is reminding me of the score in that. But maybe it's completely different, like the way the score sounds. But I guess I just mean in the way of like it really keeps this intensity and like keeps you invested in what's going on and everything too. So yeah, like we also said, don't expect a ton of action in this. It's mainly car chase scenes, but that is another thing I wanted to bring up is like I thought the car chases were really good in this too.
Car chase, motorcycle chase,
motorcycle chases, yep. And yeah, I thought those were really solid too. I I thought Barry Keoghan was like a fucking dick in this.
Yeah, as the Barry Keoghan. We were discussing yesterday that Barry Keoghan is just, I think, destined to play a villain character.
Yup.
Poor guy. I'm sure maybe he does want to be play an antagonist role, but I think he's just. Yeah.
He's almost like childish in this, like kind of a childish villain kind of role, you know.
It makes you hate him because you're just like, God, this guy's such a prick.
Yeah, and also just like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, or I don't know. It's almost like that thing where I don't think he is crazy, but like he just tries to like act like he's crazy because like.
But he tries to like make himself look bigger and tough.
Do you remember that line like when he was talking with Nick Nolte's character and he said something like, "You want to be like your dad, like now's the time" or something. So like I feel like that, but that's what I like about this movie too. Is like I feel like, and like I said, maybe with certain characters it worked better than others. Like for me, I felt like maybe they should have revealed a little more of Chris Hemsworth. But I don't know. Maybe it's like I'll rewatch it and it'll be like, oh, I just missed this little detail or something. It actually did reveal like some or whatever. But with Barry Keoghan, I got the impression, and it was just from one little line of dialogue. But like I said, when they mention like you'll be like his dad, who we never see in this movie. We never see his dad in this movie.
He said his dad died or something.
Yeah.
I think they said that his dad had.
But he said something like, yeah, like now's your chance to like he did some stuff that like would make you sick to your stomach. I don't know if you have like the guts for it, basically, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I got the impression that like
wants
he's
to
just
live up to that.
Exactly.
Live up to that expectation, like.
Because he sucks at doing this shit too.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He's not a good bank robber. Yeah, not at all. He basically like kind of it's just constantly fucking up. Because he's just reckless and everything too.
Yeah, he's kind of just
and way too brutal and everything too. But even though, like I said, he's kind of way too brutal, and like there's lots of scenes of like, him smacking people in the face with guns and shit like that. Like not a lot of gore, no gore or anything. Like just even in those scenes, like I feel like sometimes like. When like someone got smacked in the face of a gun or something, I was expecting them to like cut to it and there's like a ton of blood or like they're like really bruised up or something, but then they'd like cut to people and it'd just be like like a little like a kind of
busted lip, a single drop of blood,
like a pretty thick line, but just one line of blood coming out like one part of their nose or something. And you're just like, oh, okay. So like I'm usually not a big fan of like super gory, super bloody things, so I kind of appreciated that a little bit too. Even though it may be a little unrealistic at the same time, like getting hit in the face multiple times with a gun and just having the tiniest bit of nose fall down, no bruises or anything. But yeah, anything else we want to address, like for positives and stuff in this?
Yeah, no.
What'd you think of Halle Berry?
She's great.
Yeah.
I like her.
Haven't seen her in a lot of stuff recently, right?
I know. I was also just gonna say, like, she was her and Barry Keoghan. I feel towards the like middle and end, she was in it more. But like you said, I just think it
probably goes like Chris, then Mark, then her, then Barry Keoghan, yeah. Like for order of like how much you're seeing these characters in the movie.
Unless you want to count Chris Hemsworth's love interest.
True, which I don't. But yeah, she's in it a decent bit too, I guess. So I see why you.
I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, the actress. I think she was in like I recognized her, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, what am I? And then as it started to go on more and everything, I could be completely wrong with this. And once again, we'll look into this when I go back to the computer and we pull up some of the things. But like, I feel like she was in like Top Gun Maverick. The sequel to Top Gun.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure she was in that. And she's like one of the characters that's like part of the young new generation, like with Glenn Powell and all those new characters or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Because it was one of those things, like I said, where I was like, I feel like I recognize you, but like I can't remember where. And that was already a couple of years ago that came out. So it's just like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that, but like I could be wrong. But yeah, she wasn't bad. I just thought that was just, I don't know. It was kind of a more predictable element to the movie to me a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have just done a slightly better job with kind of throwing you a curveball with that or something. I mean, they definitely shouldn't have done like. Did I actually tell you one of the things I was expecting with this? One of the things I was half expecting, but not wanting, but half expecting, was that like with how they were being mysterious about Chris Hemsworth's past and everything. And then like I almost felt like they were implying like maybe he was like an orphan or like in an orphanage or something like that. Like he didn't really know his family. I was like half thinking, I was like, please don't do this. So like that they were going to make it that like Barry Keoghan was like his brother or something like that.
No.
I was like, so they don't do anything dumb like that in here.
I didn't think that.
And it's the same thing with the girlfriend. Like they don't do any twist with the girlfriend where it's like, oh, she's a villain or like she was a bad guy. So like at the same time, like even though maybe it goes a little safe or a little predictable with like, you know, kind of like I said, like with the girlfriend, maybe that's a good thing because maybe it would have been really stupid if we got a curveball like that, you know. But I don't know. I just expected maybe a little bit more, like a slight twist of it or something. But not bad. And like I said, it kind of gives more, I think, more insight into his character. Like it kind of, she's the person that kind of gets him to open up a little bit more because he just has never really done that. And so you kind of get to find out more about his past through her a little bit, like with her trying to get him to open up and kind of tell her about his life and show her pictures of his past and his family and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that was kind of the purpose of that. Other thing I want to ask you, do you think they're going to do a sequel to this, or do you think that they set up any sort of thing like that? Because I feel like they didn't.
I mean, no.
I feel like it's pretty.
No, like, I don't think so.
Single movie, right?
I was gonna say there could be like one thing like towards the end, but I guess like.
But it seems like the arc's kind of like closed, right? And like maybe they leave it open, but it would kind of be stupid if they did a sequel, right? But like I guess they could with how they end it. It's just they don't really set up.
Actually, the more I think about it, no.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they could if they wanted to, but like it would just be dumb.
I was gonna say, I don't think it would be a smart move.
Exactly. But technically they could, I guess. But yeah, I think that's about it for anything. For all the non-spoiler stuff for good and bad that we can kind of talk about. So yeah, we're getting in the spoiled it, folks, and you know what that means. Spoilers ahead.
You've been warned.
You've been warned.
You can
if
leave
you don't want to be spoiled, You can go. We understand. We're not
You
mad.
can come back after
You
you
go
see
see
it.
the movie this Thursday, and we're after Thursday, and then come back and watch this part, okay? Or just if you don't give a shit, just stay. But yeah,
We're here. We just get up, we
leave the mics. But
we'll put Eclipse in Tom.
I mean, there's not really a lot of spoilers to talk about with this, besides
No.
like kind of what happens like
At the end.
with the ending.
Literally,
and
I'm
stuff
like, I feel like
that,
the ending
right?
is just like the biggest spoiler. But
I thought the ending was like shit was getting good at the end though, like where like all the plots start to come together.
Actually, I lied. I retract. That's probably like the one thing I didn't like was like the way that it ended. I don't know.
Just the very end. That's okay.
Tom
Well,
agrees.
you couldn't really
Heard our cat going.
you couldn't really get into that before though. So
No.
so what aspect of it did you not like?
At the end of the movie,
Yes.
there's a whole, showdown between Chris Hemsworth and because essentially, Mark Ruffalo's character is after Chris Hemsworth.
Mhm.
Like he's basically spent years trying to figure out like who is this person that's just been robbing.
And not only that, but he's also like the only person that thinks like
It's
it's
this one
this
person.
one guy, because
Like other people on the police force think it's like up like like
they're just stupid. They just want
a
to.
slew of different people, but like he's
Well,
like
it's
no,
also-
it's one guy. It's always consistent. Like
I feel like they do imply that like they kind of do believe him eventually,
but
maybe.
it's just been
But
so
it's just
long.
like,
Yeah.
hey, our approval ratings and all that sort of stuff too. Like we got to get the job done, or like make it look like we're getting shit done.
Yeah.
So and like we saw that at points too, like with kind of how they would twist things or how they were slightly corrupt. Like when that other cop, they went,
Yeah.
there was that bank robbery.
Yeah.
And it wasn't connected to Chris or Barry Keoghan, but it was that kid robbing a bank, and then basically
Oh yeah.
that other cop just shot him, and then like Mark Ruffalo was just like, and the other cop were like, did he have a gun, like, and everything? Like Mark runs up to him and he didn't, and then basically, or sorry, he didn't run up to him, the other guy did, but then he ended up going to the car to call other people in, and then basically the guy was just like, oh, he had a gun, or like whatever, and he's like, what? No, he didn't. And he's like, no, he had one, like, and everything. And like I think it's because the guy did have a gun on him, right? But it was in his bag. So basically like the cop took out the guy's gun and put it in his hand, and it's like, it's almost interesting because it's just like, is that fucked up or is that scummy? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think so, but
I think it kind of is, but then at the same time, it's like, if you think about it, it's like this guy was robbing a bank and like probably was using that gun and everything too.
True.
So it's just like,
But yeah, what I was saying.
but they
essentially is-
lied, and it shows that they slightly fabricate what happens with some of these crimes and everything, just to like make it seem like, oh no, we got that all done and wrapped up. You know what I mean? Even though that's not the case with a lot of these things.
No, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, so essentially at the end of the movie, basically Mark Ruffalo just kind of like throws away everything he's been basically doing this whole time, and lets Chris Hemsworth's character go because like obviously he's just committed a bunch of robberies. He could go to jail for a long ass time, but he basically just is like, get in your car and drive away and don't come back.
And I don't think that's gonna work for everyone.
I
think
I
even-
personally was just kind of like, what the fuck? We just went through this whole movie for him to just be like, I'm like.
Well, even for me, like when it first started, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then like the more I thought about it, like kind of like we were talking about after we saw it, I was like, I guess that kind of does make sense. Because one, Chris Hemsworth saved his life.
True.
Barry Keoghan was about to shoot him, and he saw that he's a crazy fucking piece of shit. And I think there was an element there where Mark kind of slightly respected Chris. I mean, he still viewed him as a criminal, and I think wanted to take him down before. But now that this man has saved his life, and then not only that, but like I think they were trying to, I'm sure Chris Hemsworth's like what, in his 40s or something at this point. but I feel like they were trying to portray him like a little younger in this. So I feel like it was also, and Mark as a bit older. So it was just kind of like, I feel like he was kind of like, now that he's face to face with this person that he's been thinking about this entire time, but, didn't know what he looked like or has never met him. And almost, probably was even wondering to himself, like, am I crazy? Like, this is my theory and I think it makes sense, but like, is it just crazy that, there's some guy out there that's somehow able to do perfect crimes and no evidence, and everything. And he's done it, 12 times or 13 times now and just nothing. So like, I think for him, it was, finally he's face to face with this guy that he's been looking for so long, but this guy just saved his life. And then not only that, but kind of like we talked about, Halle Berry at one point tries to get involved with Chris Hemsworth, but then basically Barry Keoghan was kind of following Chris Hemsworth and her throughout the movie. And so basically after they kind of start to work together, Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry, Barry Keoghan like breaks into her house or apartment and like starts like putting a gun in their face.
Jump scare in the movie.
Yeah, they have one jump scare and it's a pretty good one too, but usually I don't like jump scares.
Yep, right there.
Yeah. Was it in the trailer?
Yeah.
Wow.
They literally like show her like fucking like getting
perfect
shoved.
Timing.
But
she gets scared, and because Chris was kind of like, he had implied like, no one's gonna get hurt in this, like this will basically be, no worries or anything. Like, he says easy money essentially if you just do this.
Halle Berry, where she works for
the insurance. Yeah.
She works for the insurance company, and they're just like she's been working there for like what did she say, like 11 years?
Yeah, something like that.
They've just kind of been. She wanted a promotion essentially, and they just kept putting it off, like her boss or whoever he was.
For like the last like 2 years,
Yeah.
like where they're basically just like, oh,
So
like we'll do it.
I
like,
think she just like has been like fuck this, like fuck this company.
Well, her boss is a gigantic
Misogynistic
dickhead too.
Yes.
Like, he's probably even a bigger dick than Barry Keoghan in this. Dude, I don't know. Like, just when he's like grabbing his
Barry
diet,
Keoghan told
when
him
he's
to
grabbing
shut
it,
up.
when he's grabbing his Diet Coke and he's drinking it and shit, I'm just like, fuck this boss, dude. I just want to punch this guy in the face so bad.
Shut up.
I know, I wanted to punch Barry Keoghan too, but I don't know. It's somehow on the punch meter, like the boss just was like number one in this movie.
Well, the boss
for like,
is like more like arrogant about it.
Yeah. And then he'd also be like, don't threaten me and shit. Like he kept saying that, and I'm like, dude, fuck you. Like, I feel like I would strangle this guy.
But, yeah. So, she just essentially... Yeah, but she gets scared. And then she goes to Mark Ruffalo's character.
Because they had already met. Like we said, do a really good job of intertwining everything. So they had already met because one of the crimes Chris had committed was connected to her at the beginning, and basically I forget what they call it, but like they were gonna like have Mark Ruffalo, her and Mark Ruffalo met to basically discuss it and everything. I forget what they call that. I don't know. I'm not a cop, so I don't deal with insurance either.
If you're a cop, you'll understand.
But basically to I don't know, this is probably gonna be completely me just talking out of my ass, but like vet, like, I don't know, forget it, but but like,
I was just like, what?
Yeah,
but
I'm not even gonna attempt that one, but
yeah, Barry Keoghan made me want to just
yeah, and but so basically, they had already met in the past, her and Mark Ruffalo, and like kind of weren't friendly with each other towards the beginning because like Mark kind of assumed she was kind of a scumbag like all the other insurance people are.
Yep.
And, she kind of had a point too where she's like, hey, we have every right to kind of do this like thing that I'm, I forget what the thing I was struggling with, but like we have every right to do this. And, don't view me as a scumbag just because I'm doing my job. Like, I'm sure your boss chews you the fuck out too, which he does, so that was another thing I kind of liked about this was like you kind of saw how like they were all kind of in common in a way. Like even though they all do these different things, like Chris Hemsworth's boss, I guess technically like Nick Nolte, even though he doesn't really have a boss in a way because he's literally the one that plans the jobs. But Nick Nolte's how he gets the money because he gives him the diamonds. And like he was probably the least dickhead boss out of the three in a way, even though he kind of ends up screwing Chris Hemsworth over. So I guess you could debate he's the biggest one considering it kind of came down to him like trying to basically kill him in a way too, or endanger him. And kind of betrayed his trust and everything. But then, you know, you saw how Mark Ruffalo, like we said, he's dealing with his boss, basically chewing him out and being like, you're bringing everyone else down, man. Like you have the lowest approval ratings on the force. And then Halle Berry's boss, like we just said, was just an asshole and has been
a lot of asshole
leading her
horrible
on.
Bosses.
Yeah, that's what you should have called this. Horrible Bosses 3. Had Charlie Day appear in there and Jason Bateman and Jason Sudeikis. It could have been a post-credit scene. But there was something else I was going to say. Because we were talking about the Mark Ruffalo and Halle Berry thing. I feel like there was something I was going to say with that. Because, like, why were we prepping that up? Because I feel like it was to talk about.
I don't know, man. Halo is tired, y'all.
But, yeah. I mean, not really much else to kind of go into, I guess, with this, right?
No, not to.
Like we said, I like how they kind of do that with the bosses and everything. I think, that's where my last train of thought of remembrances. But I liked what they did with that. And, like, I liked how, like I said, even though maybe the writing could have been a little bit better for the characters specifically, I liked that, like, they kind of had all that in common. And I think because they set that up and show you that, for me, that's why at least the ending that's weird because I was trying to refer it back to the ending. But so with Mark and Halle Berry meeting and then with them having the romantic thing too, but then her getting involved with Chris, basically it made it so that, like, remember when she came to him, he was basically like, she was like, am I going to go to jail? And he was like, yeah, basically, like you got
just confessed
to,
like,
she's like, fuck, basically, like, but like we said, they kind of had this chemistry. So I feel like I think he eventually ended up having this realization point when Chris shot Barry Keoghan and saved his life of like, and then you could tell because they had talked about that right before he shot Barry Keoghan, like Mark's like, you've never killed anyone or you haven't shot anyone or whatever. And you could tell Chris was nervous to do that too. And I feel like he was like even kind of shaking and stuff. So I think Mark was just like, all right, you're young, you saved my life. Not only that, but the love interest that I'm kind of interested in got involved with you. So basically, like, if I turn you in, I have to turn her in too. So basically, he ended up having this realization point of just like, you know what? Fuck Barry Keoghan. All my bosses and shit already think he's the Crime 101 thief or whatever. So like, how am I gonna convince them that it's you? Like, even if I turn them in, like, I don't know. I guess he could have, but like, it was just that sort of thing. Like I said, where he would have had to screw over Halle Berry too. So it's just this thing where he's just like, this is kind of the real villain here. Let's pin it on him, considering, like, even though he didn't do all of the crimes, he did do the most recent 2. And then it was just like, let's just pin it on him. And not only that, but like that guy that was in the room, the like rich guy, I think he was also just kind of like, fuck this dude too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was crazy.
Yeah, because that guy was an asshole too.
Barry Keoghan's character was like foaming at the mouth at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look at me.
But like, so I think Mark was just like,
fuck up.
You know what? I'm kind of done doing the right thing or the right thing because like, what good has that done me? You know what I mean? And then not only that, but like, he was just divorced recently divorced or like separated and everything too. So like I think he was just like, I had a rough go of things. Found this girl that I actually like, and she seems to like me, and she's hot, and she's also got involved with this, so I need to kind of save her ass. And so I don't know. Like to me, like initially I agreed with you or kind of was on the page with you where I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then kind of the more I thought about it, I'm still not in love with it, but like I felt like it worked. Um but maybe it is one of those things where like they could have, I don't know, punched it up a little bit more and it could have worked even better or something. But what did you think about like them revealing like Chris, like with Chris giving her that picture and it was like with like two brothers or something like that, like him as like a kid?
Well, I mean, that's what you wanted.
I know.
Essentially, like,
but like,
not to go down a rabbit hole
do you
of
feel
his
like that
relationship with
that kind of
that
goes back
girl.
to what I was saying though? Like, do you feel like that revealed anything about his past though? Because to me, I was like, I guess he had brothers, like, but like it didn't confirm to me like,
Well, didn't
was
he
he an
say,
orphan
like,
or
no? I don't think he was an orphan. I
yeah,
think he just said like
he had a
was,
rough family
yeah,
basically.
he just,
Yeah,
like, had a rough time growing up.
yeah.
Like, basically, like, had nothing essentially.
So I guess it basically showed like, because I guess you kind of saw the house in the background a little bit. It looked a little beat up or something. Like they were poor and
He
he
might have
had
been
two
in
brothers
foster
or
care
something.
eventually, because I think that woman that Mark Ruffalo,
Yeah,
like,
that's
went to
right.
go,
That's okay. So that's why I thought that.
yeah.
So yeah, he must have gone into foster care
Eventually, I
eventually.
don't know. Yeah, they didn't really go into it. Not that.
No,
Not to
that's a
be
good
not
point.
to be a.
No, that's a good point though, because like it's like I said, like I think it's one of those things where if I rewatched it, because it's already clicking more in my mind just now as we're saying that, where it's like I think that implies that he did have a family at one point, like his blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like clearly that went to shit, or his mom was like, I don't know, or his parent, both of his parents, like clearly he ended up being put in foster care or whatever. So like it kind of, yeah.
But yeah, not to go down a rabbit hole of his relationship with that girl. I mean, spoiler: he met this love interest of his because she rammed into his car.
Yeah, how was that? And then she was like, "That's your fault" or whatever. I was like, "Bitch, how was that his fault
You're
at
the one that,
all?"
yeah, you're the
He
one
was literally
that.
completely stopped, and you fucking hit the back
Yeah,
of
but
his car.
she basically rear-ended him, and then like she was like, "I need your insurance information." He's like, "Shit, I can't give any of that because I'm a criminal, essentially." So
that was also pretty stupid of her when he was like literally just willing to give her money, and then she was like, "No."
she's like, "You can't do that." I was like, "Okay."
What?
I'd be like,
Dude, some guy's giving you like, I don't
hundreds
know.
of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it seemed like he was about to give you a couple $1,000s to like what? Fix like a dent basically in the car, so you probably would have had extra and everything too. I was just like, okay,
yeah,
that's a choice.
Like, he ends up asking her to like go to dinner, and she's kind of hesitant, like with the whole relationship at first, because she's just kind of like, I don't know anything about you, and then that's like they basically kind of like don't stop seeing each other. Because she's like skeptical, because she's like, you're just not telling me something.
Yeah,
like, you're bullshitting me. You're not telling me the truth about who you really are. So that's why he gives her the picture when Mark Ruffalo tells him, like, you know, get in your car and don't come back. He like gives her the picture of like his brothers and him, or I'm assuming his brothers, and it's like, you know, like. It's like kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like opening a door.
Implying.
Like that like opening a door where he was just kind of like keeping closed, like keeping everybody shut out, but he was just trying to basically say like, I'm letting you into my life.
Yup.
But
which kind of like we said, kind of predictable. Like I feel like as soon as you know there's the love interest in this movie, you know that him and the love interest are going to be fine in the end. Or at least if he died or something, that the love interest is going to be fine in the end. So to me, that just kind of went like a slightly predictable route, but I didn't hate it. It was just kind of one of the more predictable elements with this. But I think the only other thing I just want to get into real quick with this is what I had brought up earlier of who the director possibly is. So this is Bart Layton.
Bart. Bart. Oh, we can't forget that Chris Hemsworth also gave his car to Mark Ruffalo's character.
Good bro.
Because Mark Ruffalo's character said that he's always wanted a Mustang. So that was his thank
like
you.
the old Steve McQueen movies. So
that was his thank you to his character for basically being like, letting him off and letting him get away with.
I don't know. I just feel like all the pieces like came together pretty well in this, because even like I said to you with that, I was like, really? Like he bought him a car, and then like I totally remembered like, oh wait, no, that car was, you saw him in that earlier in the movie. So when Mark just tells him at the end, like, you got to get out of here. Like I'm gonna let you leave, but like you need to get as far away from here as possible. Like
that was his olive
that was
branch.
that was like his like thank you for letting me not go to jail, basically.
Yep.
And for and because like they had a talk before, like a friendly talk before that or whatever in the car and everything, like where it kind of showed that like they had some things in common, even if it was just Steve McQueen movies or whatever. But yeah, so this director, he hasn't really done, I feel like, a lot of stuff that we'd really know. American Animals, I've never heard of that. 2018. The Imposter. Looks like he's done some TV and TV movies and stuff besides that.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of American Animals.
I feel like I have Barry Keoghan's in it, it says.
Well, he clearly likes Barry Keoghan.
Evan Peters, Barry Keoghan. But yeah, that's a well-reviewed movie, it looks like. So might have to check out some of this director's other works, because I really enjoyed this, and I would highly recommend it to you, Pose. I think you will enjoy it too.
If you like crime, if you like...
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like his first film, The Imposter, was a Sundance winner, and is even higher rated than that other one that we just looked at.
Wow.
So yeah.
Does that also have Barry? No, I'm kidding.
No, that's what I was literally just thinking. I looked at the cast, but doesn't look like it. But and then it says he's got another film coming out called Rogue Male. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at this director's other movies. I'm gonna be looking forward to this other one that's coming out. Yeah, it looks like he's a writer too, but he's basically written all those same things that we just talked about. So yeah, highly recommend it. Like we said, director is great, direction is good. I'm excited to see what else this guy has done, and if and how other people will react to Crime 101. I'm like curious, like seeing the ratings for these other films now, like because a 7's really good, so it's 7.4. So it's just like, if he can do that good with those, I wonder if people are gonna like this better than those, or if people are gonna think this is like more in the 6 range. But I'm really curious. I think either way, it definitely deserves a passing grade from people with how much good is in this movie, even if, like we mentioned, there is some flaws, obviously, but not many. So yeah, thank you, Haylo, for joining me on this one. Appreciate it, baby.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Pose, for watching this one. We love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this.
Don't forget to follow on all
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to us. And I'm going to do the thing in a second. If you want to like or subscribe to Pose in a Pod or Grill TV, you can find us at YouTube at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV Studios, Facebook at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV, Instagram at 2Pose in a Pod /BorgesandL and Grill TV Official, X, formerly Twitter at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV, TikTok at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV. You can also listen to 2Pose in a Pod on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Overcast, and Pocket Casts. Thanks, Pose. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.
Bye.